Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles time, and this is absolute nostalgia for me. Here we have a couple of re-releases of the Playmates line of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures, as I would have had going back to 1990 or potentially 1991, but I think 1990. And obviously at the time, because if you can't tell from my accent, I am English, these were Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. So if you didn't know that, if you're in the States or perhaps some other places in the world where they didn't do that, obviously they were originally called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but in the UK, whilst the movie came out, the live action film, and it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when the cartoon series came on television and when the toys came out, it said Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because the idea of ninjas and nunchucks and all this kind of stuff was seen as too violent for children, so they changed them to Hero Turtles. And so the iconic theme tune was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, and you should look it up. I just butchered singing it, but you should look it up so that you can hear the rendition of it, because they actually changed the lyrics on the song as well as like the logos and everything on the show. But here we can see I've got Donatello and I've got Leonardo. Now, when I saw these, the interesting thing for me is I kind of forget how much I was into Turtles and how much of a fondness I've got for them. But the Ninja Turtles, or the Hero Turtles, I had all of these when I was young. And a couple of years ago, and you'll be able to see these on these channels as well, I got the Cobra Kai versus Ninja Turtles. And to me, I was like, I always loved Ninja Turtles when I was growing up, and I love Cobra Kai. It's one of my favourite series of the last several years. And I decided, yeah, I'm going to get these Cobra Kai versus Ninja Turtles figures. And then a few months ago, I went into a charity shop and they'd got some Ninja Turtles figures or some Hero Turtles figures. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to get those. And I regretted it. And I went back a week later and there was one left, and I got that one. And I was like, well, it was only like £1 or £1.50 or something. I was like, I should have bought them all when I first saw them. And I didn't. But I was like, yeah, these are cool. I like Ninja Turtles. And then, just a coincidence, a little while later, apparently these been out a couple of years or a year or two, I saw that they were re-releasing these. And I saw these again. I'm a fiend for going to Amazon Warehouse, where it says that something is in near used condition. And look, there might be like a little scuff here or something, but these are basically brand new. And I took the opportunity, and so that's why first I got Donatello, then I got Leonardo. The ironic thing is, in terms of which is my favourite of the Ninja Turtles, to me, I think my actual answer is Raphael. I always liked Raphael. He's rude but cool. I liked the idea that, you know, he's got this sarcasm. It was very 1990s. But if not then Raphael, then it would have been Michelangelo. And Michelangelo was like the bit of a dope, the one that always liked pizza most, you know, the most fun-loving of the characters. But, you know, I do have a soft spot. You know, Leonardo was the leader. But to me, and apparently I was wrong on this, but in the song, the rap song that came out with the movie, they mentioned about Raphael being the leader, and I always just took that as gospel. But apparently even in that film, because I haven't seen it in so many years, he isn't quite the leader, and they just kind of got it wrong, or it just fit for the lyrics. But I know that he always wanted to be the leader, but Leonardo was the leader. So here we have Leonardo, and here we have Donatello. Now, one of the things that's interesting is, like, when you look at the artwork there, you'll see that the turtles are actually the same colour, and when you see the cartoon of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think they all look the same colour. But for the toys, they made each of the turtles have a slightly different colouring. So, like, Donatello is this kind of, I don't know quite how I'd describe it. It's definitely green, but it's kind of like swamp green or something. And Leonardo is a bit more pea green. And then I forget which way round they are. Let's see, we'll probably see on the back. Oh yeah, so to me, Raphael is the most pure, like, green. That's the one that you'd see in the cartoon, whereas Michelangelo's a bit of a richer colour green. So just get them up there so you can see them. So Raphael, if they were all that colour, I'd accept it. But obviously, if they were all this colour, all of the toys, I think, would be pretty much absolutely identical. Now, I say that just looking at Michelangelo, his foot might cock up slightly at the back, whereas Raphael's definitely doesn't. And then let's have a look here. I think Now they like the feet here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the packaging just because it catches the light, but like the feet definitely do go up the same on both of these figures. I think their hands are pretty much the same, so they can interchangeably hold the different weapons. The only real differences between them, other than the color, is or like the color of the skin. Is it skin on a turtle? I don't know. Of like the flesh of the actual turtle, is that they have the different like letter on their belt. So we've got D for Donatello, L for Leonardo, and then there's slightly different expression. Now to me, Leonardo as the leader has got this weird one side, like left side only, sort of pulling off his face like that, whereas Donatello has got like both sides, and I think that looks a lot better just in terms of the figure. That always kind of looks, he looks a bit crazy, he looks a bit like he's in pain, to be honest. Having a look at the others, for some reason I feel like the Michelangelo one, his like mouth being just one side, looks better than the Leonardo one. Like, I don't know if it's like the shape of the eyes or if they're the same. Maybe I'm just like an optical illusion, but I think the Michelangelo one actually has a slightly better face than the Leonardo one, but the one that looks best to me, whereas the Donatello has got like the teeth at both sides, the Michelangelo one has teeth going all the way across. Not the Michelangelo one, my beg pardon. The Raphael one has teeth that go all the way across. I can only bring that in so far, but the packaging is, I think, a exact recreation almost of the originals. There is a review of this up, like a written review with photos on extreme.tv. Check it out at www.extreme.tv. But you'll be able to see like a comparison of what the old packaging like and what the new packaging is like, and they're pretty much identical at the front, where it's just got like the turtle in action poses. It's interesting that on all corners it's just got, or on three corners it just has Leonardo, and this one just has Donatello, rather than it being like Donatello, Michelangelo, etc, etc. But I guess at least, even if it's just showing the same turtle 3 times over, it means it's dedicated to this turtle, and then this card is more collectible, as this one is just this turtle, rather than it being a standardized packaging at the front for all of them. Even though in many ways it's the same, like it's got the same like bricks and stuff, or bits of wood that's being broken through here. Then obviously it comes to the actual figure. One thing that's interesting is it would always come with this rack of weapons, and you'd have to actually like damage it to snap out the different individual weapons. And I forget, let's see what it says here. We'll say what the name, the bow is the staff that Donatello has, and he's got 2 of them that come at the side. It has like the throwing stars, it has whatever this pizza slice thing, turtle fist daggers, and then ninja stars, and then a kama or a karma, and I'm not even sure what that is. That's going to be the thing with a hook, which is very cool. Exactly the same stuff on the Leonardo one, with the kama, the throwing stars, and the what's it called, turtle fist daggers, and then it has obviously the swords. Let's just see what it calls it. The katana blades, of course, as the famous katana blades that he has here, and he's got 2 of them. And apparently these figures, I saw this really cool documentary on Netflix. It's called like The Toys That Made Us, and it's just about like retro toys from the 80s or 90s. So feeding into this nostalgia, because there's always the feeling that it's like, oh, I'm a grown guy, why am I collecting collectible stuff? Oh, they're action figures, they're not toys. Well, they were toys, but they are also collectible action figures. I don't mind what you call them. They're cool collectible things to have. You should be able to have what you enjoy. But apparently on this documentary on Netflix, they say that the figures originally, and on the comics, the original comics that the Ninja Turtles based on, the turtles had tails, and when they showed a version of these figures that did have a tail, but it just kind of looked like something else from the front. I won't say it on this channel, just because I don't need to, but you can imagine what a little hangy down thing in between the legs may look like from the wrong angle. So there we've got it. That's Leonardo. Now, one thing that is different is that on the back of the card here, all of the stuff at the bottom is like modernized. It's not quite the same layout, and obviously back then I don't even believe there was a Nickelodeon, and I think there may be something somewhere that acknowledges that this is like a recreation. I don't know if that's on the front. It says Playmates, and let's see. Amazing turtleistic arm movement, deluxe weapons assortment, weapons belt, and weapons rack included. Now, obviously, you can stick the weapons onto the back of the belt, onto like the straps at the back, so you can actually put the weapons onto the character, which is very cool. And then here, this is one of the differences. It shows you can get Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael. But when the figures originally came out, there were more figures that you could get. You could get a Foot Soldier, you could get Shredder, and you could get April O'Neil. And I don't know that they're ever going to re-release those. It may be completely dependent on how well these sell. Hopefully they sell well enough and they end up just re-releasing the lot, because why not? Why not? And it would be cool to get some of them, like Krang. I never liked the original Shredder toy because, and again on that documentary they said about how that he's kind of hunched over. To me, he looked too skinny compared to what he did in the cartoon series, and his pose wasn't ideal. Oh, Splinter was the other one you could get, Master Splinter. And here we see it's got the evolution of the turtles. A boy's bowl of pet turtles fall into the stench of an underground city sewer. They land on Splinter, a penniless but powerful ninja master who lives in the muck. Okay, then it says here, it shows Shredder, and it says, Splinter's enemy, Shredder, leader of the evil Foot Clan, pours a disgusting green ooze over Splinter and accidentally the turtles, hoping to zap him dead. Wow, how about that? Nowadays, they have something where it says about dead and death and stuff like that on the children's toy. Then it says, instead, the turtle pets mutate into turtle teens, and Splinter turns into the biggest rat ever to face a trap. Now, I don't know if there was an explanation for why he turns into a rat. It's because he had a rat. So what, does that rat just not exist anymore and he just gets melded into one? I can't remember, to be honest. I haven't seen the cartoon in a while, or the film. And then it says here, Splinter, the big cheese leader, teaches the turtles the way of the ninja. Together they form a kick-stomping fighting team. I swear I can read. It's just that I've got surprisingly low light, just because, as you can see, this looks bright enough, but it's on the verge of being overexposed. But to my eyes, it's just the way the camera picks things up. To my eyes, like, the lighting isn't perfect. So I swear I can read. Right, the former kick-stomping fighting team for the side of good against the deadly Foot Clan. Get ready for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then it says clip and collect. I like it on the old figures. They just think, oh, you don't want all the packaging, you're just going to cut this bit out. Whereas nowadays, obviously, everyone keeps these things mint on card. Now, I do have some original figures like this, and I may have all of them, or I may have sold them when I was young and now regret it, because probably they're worth something. I don't know how much they're worth, but I regret it just because I like the nostalgia stuff. I'm very much into my nostalgia. Portrait of Leonardo, the battle commander for the Turtles. Vital Tortistics. Is that like tortoise? Is that meant to be a pun? And it says about the weapons. Birthplace. McMahon's Pet Emporium. Chesapeake Bay, like the Chesapeake Ripper is Hannibal Lecter. How about that? But McMahon, so I don't know if this is related to Vince McMahon of the WWE. Height 5'1" on 2 legs. To be honest, 5'1" on 2 legs. If you came up against a Ninja Turtle, you may feel like there's this giant creature here. But like 5'1", I'd look down on it. I'd be like, dude, like, you know, you're really short. No offense if you are 5'1", but I'm not even super tall. I'm like 5'9", 5'10", and 5'1". I'd just look down on this thing. I'd just be like, boff. But anyway, and it says that he's 155 pounds, and that doesn't even sound that much. Like it's like in terms of wrestling, these are ultra cruiserweight. But I guess Ninja, Jet Li, you know, they're always like smaller guys which are just like quick and ninja-like. They sneak around. 16 years old, and then shell, bulletproof and shock resistance. Heroes in a half shell. It says, like his Florentine namesake, Leonardo is the perfect turtle. Wait, what? Like Leonardo the painter or the inventor. Leonardo the painter was a perfect turtle, or is it just mean he was perfect? In the lidless eyes of his allies. He is known as the unofficial commander of the Turtles and Splinter's star pupil. Because of his keen eyesight and sensitive hearing, got better eyesight than me, I'm struggling to read this, Leonardo is extremely well balanced, which makes him more skillful when wielding his ever-flashing katana blades. No matter how dangerous the situation, Leo doesn't mind sticking his neck out. His primary objective in life: cut Shredder down to size. Wow, how about that? So this is going to be exactly the same on the back for Donatello, except for the clip and collect. And it says portrait of Donatello. I just get that pun because obviously they're all named after like artists of the past. And it says the Turtles' creative genius. And it says about the weapons, and it says Joe's pet place, Slowklahoma. So they're not even siblings. I never even considered this before. The Ninja Turtles, like, I never even thought of them all as brothers before, but it turns out that they're not siblings and they come from different places. So this boy, his bowl of pet turtles fall into the stench of an underground city sewer. That's crazy, because you think, how did they fall? And like, he got them from different places. Now obviously I don't have the other two figures here. I've only got Donatello and Leonardo, but I wonder if each of them come from a different pet store. And it says he's 4 foot on 2 legs. 4 foot on 2 legs, whereas Leonardo is 5'1". So this ginormous height difference, and as we can see there, they're like exactly the same height, because it's essentially the exact same figure. Now I don't know if that's to be comic accurate. I don't know if that's something that is noticeable in the TV show, but why would they say he's 4 foot? Because if I was sort of scoffing at the idea of facing the deadly Leonardo at 5'1", if I came up against 4 foot Donatello with his stick, I'd just be like hand on the head, and he'd just be like this, trying to hit me with his stick. It's crazy. I'm not meaning to short shame. It's interesting reading it. 145 pounds. So wait a minute. 155 pounds at 5'1", 145 pounds at 4 foot. Like, Donatello's a heifer, you know. He's just like this big. He's a big boy, you know. But small. He's like the Lou Costello of the turtle world. Age, he's 15, so he's younger. And shell, hard as tank armor. So bulletproof and shock resistant. A tank is gonna. Well, Donatello's got the better shell, definitely. And it says Donatello is the best idea turtle you'll ever find. He's the brains of the group and the designer of the turtle vehicles. Rather than use his bow or brawn, Donatello would prefer inventing some device or clever apparatus to foil the foe. Still, Don's one powerful reptile with his staff, which enables him to parry, vault, and crush. Even Don gets turtle-sized pleasure in stomping the foot. What is turtle-sized pleasure? That sounds... I don't know what to do with that information. After a tough battle, Don relaxes by watching programs on his own invention, Turtle Vision. Well, does he produce these shows? What is a Turtle Vision? Now, if I remember, like, you could get like the sewer playset, and maybe there was like a little TV within it. I can't remember that, if I'm accurate, or just making that up. Or maybe I just saw it on like the cartoon series. But look, as fun as it's been to read some of this, and I probably will crack these out later, because I am going to do the reviews of some more Ninja Turtle stuff, especially the versus Cobra Kai, and we'll be able to see how these line up compared to what they would later create. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do give some comments, tell us what you think of these figures, what you thought of the video. Excuse me, and we will do another one soon. Ciao for now.